Okay, in order to save your document, your final photoshopped image as a JPEG so that it can be displayed online on our Google Classroom assignment and limit the amount of clicks that I have to go through in order to view your work, you're going to go up to the top and this will flatten your image. So just know that all of these nice layers that you worked on are going to be gone after you save it as a JPEG. So you may choose to save two copies. Maybe you want to save one as a Photoshop document and you want to save another as a JPEG, but at least turn in the JPEG to me. You also want to get in the habit of saving your final work, saving your final photos in a separate folder in the Google Drive. So if you have a folder for anything goes, say, you'll want to make another subfolder within that and call it favorite photos, final photos, edited photos, Photoshop photos, however you want to stay organized. You'll want to have a different folder designating those photos as special. So if you go up to the File menu under the Photoshop menu here, you'll go down to File Save As, or you can even choose Save a Copy. But if you hit just Save As, by default, the the format pops up as Photoshop. So this is problematic when you're trying to turn in your final piece. Again, if you're still in the process of working, definitely save it as a Photoshop document. That will retain all of the layer information within your document. So it'll open just like you see here with your layers displayed on the right. If you choose to save it as a JPEG because you're finished and you're ready to turn it in, go to Save a Copy. And where it says Format, change this to JPEG. Because you'll see before you did that, before you hit Save a Copy, it didn't give you a lot of options. So that's why we change it to Save a Copy, and now the format can be changed to a JPEG, or even a PNG will work, but JPEG will allow you. PNG retains the transparency. So if you just have an image without a background, say we turn off the background in this document here, and we just have like the shark with flowers. When you save it as a PNG, save a copy, change the format to PNG, it's going to retain that transparency. So when you go to bring it into, say, a PowerPoint or something like that, it's just going to be the shark and the flowers. There won't be any other background on it. So that can be helpful, but I prefer JPEGs for whatever reason. It's just what I'm used to. Save a copy, change the format to JPEG, and just make sure you're not like changing the format up here. Some people try and like click on this and type in a name and then do .jpeg. That's not actually changing the format. That's just changing the title of the file. So in order to make it a true JPEG, you have to change it down here. Okay, I would save it on your desktop. Call it something that makes sense. I am asking if you could to please save it with this designation: your first initial, last name, and then put an underscore or a dash, one of the two, and then title it the assignment. So anything goes, and then put the number of the print that it is, or the number of the photograph. So if you're doing a final 5, you would put 1, and then for your next one, you would save it as 2. For your next one, 3, so on and so forth, all the way up to 10. You could turn in 10 finals if you want to. The more the merrier in my mind. But all you need is 5. 5 is the minimum. So this is my first one, so I'll call it C Warner - anything goes 1. And what that allows me to do is when I print, there is a printer that I use that will copy will add the name of the file to the back of the print itself. So all I have to do when I get this stack of 300 photos to tell whose is whose is I just turn it over and I can read the file name right there, right on the back of that print. So if it does not have your name in the title, it's very difficult for me to match whose photo goes with whose face. So please, please, please put your name first thing. I think it has about 11 characters that it will print. So make sure that you have your first initial and last name on your print. Unless you have a super common last name like Brown or something, then you may want to type out your entire first name, but your first initial should be sufficient. And then we will hit save. Beautiful. Thank you so much. To copy and paste it into the Google Drive, we're going to open Chrome. I would suggest Chrome is the best because it has your little waffle right here where you can navigate to Drive. And then you'll want to, if you don't have a photography folder already, you'll want to create a new one. So new folder, photo demo, so I know to delete it later. So photography 1. And then you'll make subfolders for each project. So new folder for anything goes, a new folder for nature, and so on and so forth for all of your different projects. If you want to organize them and change the color, that can be a helpful way to just, make it more attractive, make it more fun to save things in these colorful folders here. So for each of these subfolders within your photography class, I would make a separate folder, another subfolder, so it's a folder within a folder, for finals. So this could be finals, it could be edited, you could call it favorites, you could call it whatever you want, but this is your way to, separate out the good from the bad, or the best from the normal. So then under this subfolder, I can go to new, and I can upload this photo that I just saved. Here's C. Warner, Anything Goes 1, saved with the right name designation so that it's real easy. And notice it keeps that transparency here, so now I can't see the background because I saved it as I saved it with the background hidden. I saved it as a JPEG though, so you'll notice that this is white. If I were to save it as a PNG, that would probably be a checkerboard and be transparent. Okay. If you want to start keeping all of your photos in the right project folder, they just will go under this Anything Goes folder. So I can go new, file upload, and let's see what random photos I have here to upload. I have the Nice Show by Gray Baker, so I could upload all of these just to show you how that might look. I hit Command A to select all, or if you just want to select a selection of them, hold Shift and select, or you can hold Command and select random ones. But I like Command A to select them all. Hit open. Now notice it's going to take a minute for all of these to upload to the cloud. I would recommend doing this periodically. I have dongles at every table, those SD card readers, so that you can just on your own be uploading them as you go. We don't want to have any tragedies by the end of the semester where all of your pictures are on your card and you lose your card. So just make it a habit of periodically uploading your pictures to the drive. The reason I want you to upload them to the desktop first from that card reader is because this process takes a long time. It says 1 minute left, but I think it's lying. It usually takes several minutes at the very least, sometimes up to 20 minutes. And if you're trying to sit there and do this with the dongle, nobody else can use that adapter while you're doing this process. Versus if you just drag and drop your photos straight from the dongle onto your desktop, it takes 30 seconds. So please, please, please make some kind of arbitrary folder on your desktop. It doesn't matter what you call it because you can delete it later, but just for a temporary spot where you can keep your photos so that somebody else can use that dongle as quickly as possible. So now I have my photos uploaded here. I'm looking through, I'm saying, oh, I really like this one, I really don't like that one. Obviously this is someone else's art, so I would not try and present this as my own. But if I wanted to download it and edit it, I would have to click on this download button here, open it in Photoshop, under the downloads folder, and do my thing. Make my edits, maybe add some levels, definitely make a copy of the background first. So under this levels adjustment layer here, I can hit the auto button. Oh, Photoshop thinks it needs to be a little bit brighter, and I tend to agree. Ooh, too bright. Maybe go under filter camera raw, maybe adjust some of the basics like, oh, again, I'm on the wrong layer, so make sure you're on the right layer. Filter camera raw. Adjust just the highlights so that I can really see her name pop. See how that helps? Maybe bring up the shadows so I can see some of the details there a little bit better. And increase the contrast. And let me bring up some of the blacks. Okay, so right there in 10 seconds, I've made some changes to make this photo substantially better. So just to review, I'm finished with my photo. I want to save it as a JPEG so I can turn it into Google Classroom. I go File, Save As, save it as a copy, change the format to JPEG. And then I title it with my name, C. Warner, first initial, last name. I could even capitalize my last name so it's easier to tell that that's my last name. Dash, project title, anything goes, and the sequence. So this is my second one, so I'll title it with a 2. I would change the location to the desktop so that it's easier to find and hit save. And then I go to my Google Drive. Let's see about saving this as a PNG and see what that does with the transparency. So File, Save As. This time I'm going to change my format to PNG. And I'm going to call this C. Warner. This is not really for a project, so I'll just call it Shark. PNG, save it to the desktop. So you'll get in this habit. It'll become pretty second nature for you. But in the meantime, you need to practice. We're going to go to my finals folder. This is underneath, uh-oh. There it is. No. Okay, it looks like I lost my anything goes. Here it is. Okay. So finals, this is where I'm accumulating my best photos. So new file upload. Obviously you can't turn in a tutorial for your final project because I provided those images. These have to all be from you. Your finals have to be taken by you with your camera. So maybe I want to select and upload all of these. Open. And then we can see the transparency here with this little checkerboard. It's showing us that this area is transparent. I wonder if we could even add it to like a PowerPoint. So if I were to make like a Google Slides presentation, now I'm just going way off script. And then I were to insert that image from my Google Drive. Let's see what happens. Perfect, it's transparent. Oh, that's wonderful. So now I can really have a clever look to my slideshow because I can see through my image. That's really cool. All right. So that's a brief introduction to saving and organizing your work.